you've got the trust of the CFO, I think you said now. How did you in those early days go and communicate that and get buy-in for those big budgets from the CFO?
Well, the reality is we're on a journey. So companies like Webflow invest relatively little in that like top bucket. Today, Webflow, the vast majority that we're investing is in the directly attributable direct response.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, actually, well, because we just have a lot of like brand awareness anyway, and there's certain things that we invest like in our community team and those sort of things that are just known as like good investments that are helping to like build a brand. But most of our, in fact, almost all of our media spend right now is in directly attributable direct response. And we have spent in the last year, I was like, job one is to make sure that that spend is extremely great ROI. And so we've got to the point where we've halved the CAC. We're now at a point where we're at like an 8-month payback. So extremely, like that's really strong for a B2B company. And literally, I think it was last week, obviously the CFO and the CEO were going, this is amazing. Is this sustainable? Like, what a great job. And I said, it's absolutely not sustainable. But they trust me, right? I'm like, hey gang, look what we did. Here's how we did, they're like, we trust, right? So the conversation I had was like, this is what we've done. What we've been doing is our brand is like, imagine your brand is a field, right? We've got loads of crops in it. And demand gen is coming in and just like cutting the crops, right? You've got great brand awareness. So demand gen is going to come in and like farm all that love and demand. What will happen is if you're just farming, your output in a year is going to be amazing. It's like we've just spent all of our time cutting all of the crops, hero, and then the next year comes and it's like, oh, we didn't rotate the field. We didn't put down any fertilizer. Oh my God, the crops aren't growing, and so the ROI of a campaign starts to get really, really terrible because now the farmers are going in. You got 100 people trying to cut down crops and there's nothing there because you haven't invested in the brand. So the story that I had, I literally used that analogy with them. I was like, what we're now going to do is we're going to have today, the way we measure our CAC is we break it out into what was spent on media and what was spent on the team. We are going to have 2 more categories. We're going to have our evergreen campaigns, which we have right now. They're high performing, high ROI campaigns. That we will continue at like an 8-month payback. We're going to agree how much are we willing to invest in test campaigns where we're okay that they have low ROI for a certain number of months while we test them out to see if we can turn them into evergreen. And the ones that don't, you cancel them. So that'll be part of our CAC. And we're like, that part of our CAC, we're okay, it has a bad ROI because the idea is that you're trying to like figure out what ones would work. And then the next part of our CAC will be our investment in brand. That's our crop rotation. And that part of our CAC, again, I'm not going to be reporting back on the LTV to CAC ROI of that spend because it's just so hard to measure. But what I will ensure is that our mix of our investment between those different categories ensures that overall we're still in a decent place from an ROI from an ROI perspective, and that we are able to at least like at the different campaign level, like at the brand level, have a conversation about is it driving an uplift. So anyway, it's a journey that I've gone on. So like what I would say, this is about like earning the trust. I think had I come in day one and been like, hey, we got to start investing in the brand, whatever, and they're like looking at the CAC going, your CAC is up at like 16 months. So, and now you want to like just spend millions on this thing that you're telling me is not going to be measurable, like go away. So no, what you do is you earn that trust, show that you know what you're doing, and then you come and say, this is what we're going to do next. And that's where we are as a company right now. And so anyway, I think the macro sort of message and lesson is you need to earn the trust of the head of finance and whoever else like kind of is in financial decisions at your company so that you have the ability to invest in things that are not as measurable.